Good morning, guys. Today we are going to present you our strategic plan for a course we are going to give to a group of elders, and the range of ages come from 50 to 60 years old, and they are Colombians, all of them, but from different part of the country. So I don't think we are going to have any problem with that. On the other hand, the main goal for them is to be able to communicate better and interact with other people during their trip to Europe. They're going to be in Europe in 6 months, so they want to be prepared for that. The classes are only 2.5 hours for weeks, so we are short in time, but I think it's going to be great for them to only focus on the goal to be able to communicate on the trip. And I think we can start now.
Okay, so the method or the approach that we consider that is most convenient to use for this type of population and also their learning needs is the differentiated. As it was mentioned by our partners, this approach tailors instruction to meet individual needs. At its most basic level, differentiation consists of the efforts of teachers to respond to variance among learners in the classroom. So whenever a teacher reaches out to an individual or a small group like the one that we are going to handle with, to vary his or her teaching in order to create the best learning experience possible, that teacher is using differentiating instruction. So teachers can apply this process differentiating these four classroom elements based on the student's interest or their learning profile. The first one is the content. This is what the student needs to learn or how the student will get access to the information. The second one is the process. These are the activities in which the student engages in order to make sense or to master the content. The third one are the products. These are the culminating projects that ask the student to rehearse, to apply, and to extend what he or she has learned in a unit. And the last one is the learning environment, which is the way the classroom works and feels. Okay, for the implementation of this approach, the group work and also the division of content in units or chunks, the use of technological tools, and also to make sure the student is responsible for their process are all factors of great importance to achieve the proposed goals from the beginning. In this approach, the environment in which students develop activities is essential. So the attitude of the teacher must always be the best. One of our priorities should be to build a good rapport. This factor I consider does not require much effort because the group is located with a similar range of age. It's very important to create a WhatsApp group to share the classroom information and to take notes of the teacher explanations. Since the group is in this range of age, this could be the easiest and the most appropriate way of sharing the information. Our first proposal consists of a useful activity to understand the prior skills and the knowledge of the students, and at the same time to evaluate the use of language and vocabulary they have acquired previously. The activity consists of dividing the classroom space into 5 stations. Each station will require the students to perform a different activity, so they can visit each station by pairs. For example, in the first station, students should see a video of people at the airport, and they must answer a series of questions that were previously designed by the teacher. In the second station, they should create a drawing after listening to an audio describing the best known tourist attraction of the place they are going to visit in 6 months. The following stations can focus on other skills like reading and speaking, and at the end of the session, students will be able to share the results they obtained at each station, and the teacher can make clarifications on vocabulary, on expressions or grammar and pronunciation, and they can use a presentation using a virtual tool, and this information could be shared to the WhatsApp group. Another activity that could give students a realistic approach to interaction with foreign people could be to make a visit to the airport. So in pairs or small groups, students can design questions related to the place of origin and also the culture to apply short interviews that foreign people who use English as their native language will perform. These videos will be shared in class next to a small presentation of the students who will mention if it was difficult for them to interact with that person, and also they can mention the aspects that they like the most.
So for the second activity, we want them to get them to know what they're going to do in Europe. So we actually get to know what kind of vocabulary we need them to acquire. So in this activity or in this class, the first steps is to give them an introduction of what they're probably going to see in those trips. So for example, if they're going to England, we want them to know a little bit the places they can visit, the food they can eat, the type of people they do and not do over there. So in the content, they are going to do a little research over the countries they are going to visit, and they are going to give us a scope of what they can find. For the process of doing the product, they are going to choose a way of sharing this information, their personal agenda, in a way they feel like it. So they can use as many tools as they want, and they can use their creativity to craft this into interesting products. For example, they can build a travel journal in which they can use image, they can use color, they can use phrases, something they are excited for to know or not. They're going to share it through that. All other people can use the videos or can use for example, only pictures, and then they're going to explain it, why they like it or why they don't like it. So this is a very open space for them, so they can share whatever they want, their personal agenda, in a way they feel creative. So for the evaluation process, we want them to be very open in terms of creativity. So in the rubric, we are going to only take into account the amount of improvement they have taken from the beginning, the first steps of this activity, that is going to be the gathering of information, and then we are going to see how this process is reflected, how this improvement is going to be reflected on the presentation of the product. In the product, we are going to take into account the amount of vocabulary, new vocabulary they have acquired, the level of self-expression in terms of how you can communicate not only with the language but other aspects, like in the self-expression. And we are going to take also into account the creativity in order for them to express their ideas and desires. So we are not going to take to design a test for them. We're only going to see how they go through one point to another, and this type of information is the formative one, and then we are going to give them the feedback in order for them to make the adjustments that are necessary.